Oh, let me tell you something. Busting makes me feel good.
Welcome to another episode of Blockbusting, the podcast where we love to hate the movies. I am your host, Jay Light. Today with me, movie expert and good friend, Rawal.
How we doing, Jay? Thanks for having me on.
Raj, dude, I'm so happy to have you on,
I'm
man.
so excited to be here.
You know, when I started formulating the idea for this podcast, I knew I had to have you on.
I had to be on, and I knew that you knew that I had to be on, so I'm very, very stoked to be here.
I knew that you knew that I knew that you knew a lot about movies.
I'm told I dabble with the pictures.
You
as
got
they say.
the talkies.
The talkies.
Raj, a little backstory on me and Raj's relationship. Raj and I met our freshman year of college at
Week 1, right?
at Fresh TV at Elon University,
Mhm.
and I think we both solidified our douchey movie opinions right then and there.
We were very next level douchey. I made a stop motion animation film with milk cartons falling in love, and Jay made a short film called Paper Thin Love about paper airplanes with a group. And we were both like, hey, we like the same shit.
Yeah.
We both know that Chris Nolan's a great movie and The Dark Knight's the best movie of 2008 to date us.
Yep, and they showed it all the time on our on-campus movie network.
They literally did when linear cable was still on its way out in 2008.
Man, that coax, buddy. Watch it through the coax.
But yeah, we did that, and then we were cinema majors, and then we participated in many fun things.
Yep,
We were in Southern fraternities.
we were in Southern fraternities, which makes more sense for me than for you. You're from
New
West
Jersey.
Windsor, Plainsboro, New Jersey.
Yeah, but I also did like the identity protocol of people from the Northeast thinking that they needed to join a Southern fraternity to assimilate to pay
Right.
for their friends.
And Raj says this is an Indian man wearing a Vineyard Vine
Vineyard
shirt,
Vine
pastel
shirt.
blue shorts, and boat shoes right now.
I had a brunch earlier.
Yeah, you
but
gotta look. You gotta stunt for the brunch.
You gotta stunt
I
for
get
the
it.
brunch. No, it's fantastic. I'm very hyped to be here. I'm very happy that we both live in the best
Yeah.
damn city in America.
And we've
Los
both
Angeles.
been here 5 years now.
That's
it's
kind of
wild.
batshit crazy to think
wild.
about it at the end of the day.
And we're making it happen.
We are making it happen, and let's get down to it.
You
in
know
movie
what?
news.
Let's start off the biggest. Obviously, we're going to cover the box office news first. This is should be a no-brainer to anyone listening. Top of the box office this week. Thank you to Box Office Mojo. Oh, this is a massive, massive success. It devours the competition with a record-breaking $117 million opening weekend. This is record-breaking. It has broken the following records: the largest September opening, the
Damn.
largest fall opening,
Oh shit.
the largest opening for an R-rated horror film,
What?
and the largest opening weekend for a horror film of any movie rating by the
all float
MPAA.
down here.
It also accounted for more than 75% of the combined movie gross for the whole top 12 of the entire weekend. So,
Your delivery,
fucking crazy.
Your delivery really makes you sound a lot like Access Hollywood former host Pat O'Brien when you want to get the number one, 75%.
that sounds a lot. That's
Boy, if I'm going back to the old talkie days, we're talking about Buster Keaton and King of the Box Office.
With the clowns everywhere. I loved this movie. It is fantastic. The best thing about it is it takes that whole Stranger Things 80s coming of age formula, but it's the chemistry of the kids and why just they're all like nobodies except for Mike from Stranger Things.
yeah.
And I forgot the main dude is the kid from the horrible, hilarious comedy, The Book. Not
The Book of Henry.
The Book of Henry.
God, the Book of Henry. I never
not,
saw
not
that.
a comedy, but it is
Definitely
fantastic.
not a comedy. It looks like I remember seeing the trailer for the Book of Henry.
Oh, it's
Like the what's it called? The static frame that they show the cover image on the YouTube, and I was like, oh, this is gonna be a kid about like a wacky
that's
kid
what
in a
I thought it
treehouse.
was.
And then all of a sudden, rape and revenge movie.
And murder and
Murder.
all this other shit in it.
God.
But the best thing about it is Mike from Stranger Things is the scene stealer in it. He is absolutely phenomenal. It's hilarious. I mean, it's a bunch of kids that are, outcasts hanging out together. We've obviously seen this tale done so many times.
Yep.
But it's the way that they did it. And I honestly don't remember the Tim Curry movie because I was so terrified to finish it when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
So this is kind of reintroducing a new generation. They're obviously launching an IP with it. and
Right.
they're gonna have,
There
like,
has to be a sequel. sequel
There-
because from what I know, I haven't seen the movie yet, but I do know that it cuts off before the big second half of the book, which involves them as adults.
Yep.
So this is obviously it's going to be a big franchise. Warner Brothers has knocked it out of the park. And I think this is going to be the movie to be talking about through Halloween.
Oh, through Halloween for sure. And it's going to say because they have the Jigsaw spinoff for the Saw, comeback of torture porn movies coming back. But it's just like that genre, I think, has fizzled out because that franchise was 04 to 2010. Saw 7 was in 3D. I still remember seeing it. And the movie used to sell out on Friday nights. I saw it again, and it was only fucking like 40 people in the theaters. And I was like, because people are over that. You don't really want disgusting, gross out shit. Like this has some gore in it, but that's not its primary foundation. Just like Pennywise is not the foundation of the movie. Like I was scared shitless when they're in the haunted house scene by the third act. And the movie's 2 hours and 15 minutes long, but it keeps you on the edge the whole entire time. Like I said, it's funny as hell at times. You didn't even expect it.
And that's good. You gotta have jokes in a horror movie.
Yeah,
You gotta have. That's the other thing that I really have not liked about the torture porn set of movies, and then especially a lot of the found footage movies have very little in the way of laughter. It's mostly just cheap jump scares.
It's cheap jump scares, and there's really no underbelly. But the thing is, they're making them for cheap, so they know the aesthetic that they're aiming for, and that's where Blumhouse are just phenomenal at making shit for $3 million, then increasing to $6 million, and then getting a $100 million return. It's kind of the new mainstream indie filmmaking when a lot of people are not making good shit for kids to run to the theater that are ages 13 to 22, and that's what's good about this. I mean, it's a very hard R.
It's exactly, and it's going to be one of those movies that people are sneaking in to get in to go see.
By question, how much did Nepotism, the chick flick, make? The Nancy Meyers' daughter movie. I forget what's her name.
Home Again.
Reese Witherspoon.
Home Again came in second place at the box office
And-
with just shy of $10 million, $9,028,000.
Hey, I know this is going to be everywhere, and I don't want to hate on nepotism because that's what this town's built on. But hey, this is what happens when you don't intensively train to make a genre that is masterfully crafted by someone in your family.
Yeah.
And just an FYI, just because you have great actors and a release date like this, and everyone wants a chick flick because it's hard times, people are not going to see this shit. They need a reason, a creative reason to get out of the house to get to the theaters. That's why it won. It could have been a chick flick.
See, I think we
With
need
the-
to have,
Yeah,
I
just
think
like
we
it
need to
is.
have more. We need to have a clown rom-com. That's, I think,
I'm
the next
into it.
logical step.
I
We
think
haven't had that yet.
Shaun of the Dead was known as a romantic comedy with zombies.
Yeah.
So we need another one like that.
Man, Edgar Wright, get on it.
Oh, Edgar Wright.
We can't
can
have
get on it.
I would like to officially not endorse nepotism on this podcast and say that it leads to bad things. And Stephen King should be really proud of himself for throwing another several $1 million into his pocket.
Oh yeah, of course. He's reminding me of. Oh yeah, wait. We have a lot of nerds listening, right?
Oh,
For
yeah.
This? Oh hell yeah.
Presumably.
Well, nerds. It's like the Simpsons episode where Homer's like, "What if I robbed the Quickie Mart?" and he's on a rocking chair outside of a mansion. With a senator sash, a monocle, and he's spinning a cane, and Marge is dancing in a bikini. That GIF on loop is literally what Stephen King is doing right now.
Oh yeah.
He's just like, oh, money is good. Like he looks like that guy. He would be like Krusty the Clown, smoking a cigar while lighting $100 bill every 5 minutes in a different room he goes into. That's how much money this movie is going to make definitely over 300
Oh
million
yeah.
a month worldwide. And
It's gonna make an
it's-
insane amount of money.
it's exciting for me, and I think all of us as film lovers or people that casually go to the movies. We grew up with the out-of-home entertainment experience. We love going to the theater. There's no better idea than being in a room with strangers and going on this journey with people from point A to point B. And sometimes what I love about it is that I want to know the ending. I'm okay with formula. I'm okay that it's predictable. It's the characters that I give a fuck about. It's why I want to, go along with them. And this movie had something so many motion pictures don't have today, which is rewatch value and shelf value. I was so excited to see this again. I want to see it 2 more times in theaters with even bigger audiences because did you see Get Out?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's
And
fucking
Get Out is
amazing. Get Out was another great audience movie experience. And once again, it all comes down to the core of the characters. And did we tell a good story? It's film school 101 of, hey, let me PA on your set or, clean your bathroom floors to tell a good story. But thumbs up to it.
Moving
Loved it.
right along down the rest of the box office, everything else, of course, suffered in the wake of it and its massive clown murders.
Of course.
The Hitman's Bodyguard finally falling out of the #1 spot after 3 weeks there, just basically due to apathy on the part of modern moviegoers.
And it was just, look, we know August is a slum season, but as terrible as Suicide Squad was last August, I'm happy that people got back into theaters. Not for a good reason, because I couldn't even get past the first 30 minutes, but they went to the theaters. They're supporting movies. They're supporting their local art house or even chain. And Hitman's Bodyguard is one of those movies you literally watch on Netflix hungover on a Sunday.
Yeah, it's like something, if you're on TNT and Hitman's Bodyguard is going to be there,
It's a TNT Sunday
it's a definitely
movie.
TNT Sunday
It's not
movie.
that it's a bad movie. It's just a whatever kind of movie. And I think we're now at an age of so many people doing passable movies or complacent movies because you can sell them globally.
Yeah.
And Ryan Reynolds and Samuel L. Jackson sell his IP worldwide. But it's like, of course, I'm going to see these two shitheads together if I'm in Mumbai, India.
Can I ask you something?
Yes.
What is the biggest movie mistake you ever made while you were hungover? I'll start. I
Ooh.
watched Grizzly Man while I was hungover one day.
Ooh.
I got it on Netflix in college, and I popped it into the DVD player, and I was crazy hungover. And then all of a sudden, it's about a man getting eaten. And I was like, well, I should have known this going into it, but I was just glued to the couch, and I couldn't get up. Really good movie, but definitely not a good
really
movie to
great-
watch.
And
while
Werner
you're-
Herzog's accent, he's accusing you of, you must never watch this tape. I'll never watch this tape, Werner. Don't you worry. Damn, that is a very bold movie mistake. I would have to say mine was when I was hungover in college. I thought it was a great idea to watch Synecdoche, New York.
Oh,
Phenomenal
no.
picture.
Great movie, but
It is
you can't-
underrated as hell, but holy shit, it gets so. I thought it was gonna be Charlie Kaufman, creative. He's creating his own city in a soundstage, R-rated drama pulls. And then I watch it. I think I remember texting you. I was like, "What? I think you lent it to me." And I was like, "Wait,
Yeah,
what the fuck?" did
I let
just
you borrow
watch?
that. That movie's real fucked up and
Uh-oh.
dark and
It's-
deep, and definitely not a movie to watch while you're
It is fantastic. A
Hungover.
plus, very underrated.
best hungover movies are like Clueless,
Clueless or Wedding Crashers still holds
Role
up.
Models.
Role Models.
Role Models is fantastic.
my-
Highly underrated.
My girlfriend and I, we were watching, I remember, Old School last year. I don't think a younger generation gets it. I think we're the last generation that understands how great Old School is because we grew up with it as our go-to R-rated movie. We'd
Oh,
be
yeah.
sneaking around. Yes, Grizzly Man's great. Hitman's Bodyguard. Watch it hungover. You're good to go at the end of the day. You don't really need it in your life.
Going through the rest of these, Annabelle Creation dropping from 2 to 4. Wind River, after a climb, dropping back to number 5. Leap,
Leap.
the animated movie that I know nothing about,
The French animation that they came and they dubbed in
I guess.
English.
it moved down to number 6. Spider-Man: Homecoming holding steady at number 7. Dunkirk, which we'll get to it later, dropping
Never
in
heard
at
of
number
it.
8. Logan Lucky, which I saw this weekend, added a solid little chunk to this box office number, coming in at number 9. And very enjoyable movie. Definitely go check it out, especially if you like the Soderbergh's heist films. And rounding out the top 10, hanging in there, clinging on for dear life, the Emoji Movie.
Everyone
Still
just
earning
wants to
$1
be an
million.
emoji. Dude, I loved when it was at 0%. I was actually traveling abroad. I was in Israel when it came out, and I looked at the Rotten Tomatoes rating, and I thought it was a glitch. I was like, "There's no way this movie is less than Grown Ups 2 right now."
How do you think the Emoji Movie still has people watching it?
It's because you have to remember all these kids use emojis, and there's a bunch of emoji merch going on and worldwide, and emojis don't really have a language. They are their own language of its own, and at the end, it doesn't matter how fucking bad the movie is. Kids will go and see it, and parents will have to drag them to see it, and I'm sure that they're selling this movie for syndication dollars like crazy right now to different linear cable networks and streaming services
Yeah,
worldwide. And it's like they made it as a wannabe IP, but I don't think it's gonna have a sequel now.
I'm dreading. Well, the thing I'm really dreading is eventually if like Cartoon Network or Nickelodeon decides, let's make the Emoji Movie TV show.
Of course,
the
they are.
Emoji Movie.
The
Emoji Movie.
show.
The novelization of the screenplay. Let's
It's-
see what's going on in the Emoji Movie extended
And
universe.
It was just so funny because
Let's get into the Unicode movie.
I'm down with the Unicode, and this was basically just a discount Inside Out, and I'm like, oh no, what are you doing, Sony? I'm happy Sony had it. I loved Baby Driver, one of my favorite
Baby Driver's
movies of
great.
this year. But it's just like, oh my God, what are you doing? And I try to give it so much hope, and I just think the once amazing studios we grew up with the allure and fascination of just how awesome it is to be at a studio, like, oh my God, now it's like, holy shit.
Yeah.
This is why everything's changing to cinema TV at the end of the day, and we're just very grateful for these because we love going to the theaters. That's why we're both here. That's why we're doing this, So, God, just bless the Emoji Movie and its creators.
I
you know?
guess.
I'm very excited.
I think we'll have to wait for the Emoji Movie to do a stage reading one of these days. We'll get maybe I don't know. Can someone replace T.J. Miller? Is that doable?
I can do it as like a British Indian guy because everybody loves Indians. Look at The Big Bang Theory.
What we need to do, they need to do the all. We'll have to have the all female remake of the Emoji Movie one of these days.
We'll hit up at Jason Reitman, man. Bring back that Lockmail Live Read series. We
Yeah.
can produce this for you immediately.
Jason Reitman, if you're listening, please.
I hope so.
Please help us out. Keep the Emoji Movie out of the top 10 next week.
Mhm.
I'm hoping that next week is the week the Emoji Movie finally falls out of the top 10. It's been in for 7 weeks in theaters, and it has clung for
God.
dear life on
It came
every
out at
week.
the end of July. Right? That's embarrassing.
And it's been advertised with this fucking advertising blitz since like January.
Yeah, no, they've been on it forever. And I remember when the press release was announced, I'm like, literally, what the fuck is going on? And Patrick Stewart probably got an extra extension to his house in New York because of being in this movie. But good for them. We all got to make money. I mean, always remember at the end of the day, one of my favorite comedians, Louis C.K. created Pootie Tang,
Yeah.
which is amazing. And if you don't like Pootie Tang, you're wrong.
Well, let's get into some other movie news. Obviously, the story of the week is going to be It as the box office winner.
Oh.
And there's some other It-related stuff. This, again, after a summer last year where clowns finally came back into the spotlight as being one of the most hated people in America.
Of course.
This movie is making clowns across the world
Oh, that was
so
nice.
upset.
That was nice low-key shade at the guy that doesn't give the right directions to Kevin McAllister in Home Alone 2, Lost in New York. Very well done.
This is coming to us from Vice. A professional clown club protested It over negative clown stereotypes. The lead quote from this is, "You need to remember that clowns are people too." So apparently, on this past Thursday, a Canadian clown club called the Thunder Bay Clown Club, featuring what looks like in this photo, 2 clowns in wheelchairs, which I did not know that this was a genre of clown. But there are so many clowns who are very upset. They held a march to prove that clowns are not creepy. And I tell you what, guys, if you're gonna lead off with this motley crew of clowns as seen in the picture, you're not really doing a whole lot for your case.
It's to describe this picture. It is a very, very clowny, very bright.
Lots of bubbles being
a
blown,
lot of bubbles, being
rainbow
blown,
flags.
Clowns are terrifying. Let's get that out of the way.
Clowns. That's the thing, and that's the thing. Stephen King tweeted this week that clowns are mad. Clowns are upset with Stephen King, and I think he hit the nail on the head because he said something to the effect of, "Well, kids are scared of clowns, and they always have been and always will be. So I'm going to capitalize on that."
Probably his inspo even for the book. I mean, I've been scared of clowns since day one. At the end of the day, Ronald McDonald used to scare the shit out of me. I used to not want to go to McDonald's and only Burger King as a kid. Every fucking kid wants to go to McDonald's when your parents say you're going there.
This is direct quote from the head of the Thunder Bay Clown Club, or sorry, the head of the Thunder Bay Clown Club is Dan Daffy Baxter, but we have another member of the Clown Club who's doing our speaking for the group here, Diane McNichol, who said all of this while honking a horn in the reporter's face. The gathering wasn't a rally or a protest per se, but more of an information session. The financial blow to the clowning industry has already happened. When I meet my American clown friends, they tell me that business has dropped. People won't invite them to parties. They don't get invited to events anymore.
I mean, did we? I thought with Chuck E. Cheese, getting a resurgence in clown. I don't.
Chuck E. Cheese actually got rid of all their animatronics. They're starting to phase them out.
Hey man, those things were just as horrifying as clowns. So thank you, Mr. Cheese, for finally hearing all the complaints.
I would like to continue. Just make sure that this. I gotta find her name. Dottie the clown. I'm not gonna call her by her real name. She's a clown. She's going to associate as a clown. She's gonna be her clown name. Dottie the clown says that she's hearing the term "scary clown" uttered by children more and more, and pins the blame on a specific variety of lipstick clowns. I guess referencing lipstick lesbians, which is clowns who haven't been trained but just throw on a costume and get in people's faces. Yeah, that's a lipstick clown for sure.
Amateur clowns, basically.
Yeah,
amateurs.
A clown who's doing it just to get by, to make some college money.
Just
Throw a
people
couple questionable
clowning
videos on
around.
the internet. Hopefully, you don't get caught. Actual clowns, Dottie the clown explained, have a code of conduct, follow an ethical code, and obey a clown constitution.
I wonder what her position is on. There has to be a subgenre of clown pornography, right?
Oh, dude,
Like there
don't
has
even
to
get
be
me
an
started.
insane subculture of clown pornography. I'm very, very just like scared to Google clown and porn together. So like, yeah,
You shouldn't be.
I know. It seems Dottie would probably have my neck if I did.
I honestly think that because there's the whole wave of porn. I don't know how up to date my listeners are on the porn world. I'm sure you're probably
Well, I was
up
just
to date enough, but there's a whole
Yeah.
wave of step sibling and like step parent
so
porn that's going
weird.
on right now.
It's so, and Forbes did it. That's okay. This is also another thing. Like getting news about porn in the industry, we're all very well informed. It's so mainstream now that Forbes and CNN are publishing like think pieces on the porn industry. And this is when I turned into an Indian dad where I'm like, I don't want to read this or have this appear as headlines and like, I don't know, like my parents like CNN or this shit on Facebook. They're going to see the word porn. Like I'm still very, old fashioned. Like, no, that's not what something you talk about, but it is.
Yeah.
That is very interesting. It is a
I mean,
subgenre talked about by
here's-
so many think pieces on Vice.
Let's
and
be,
Forbes about it.
let's play it. Let's call it like I see it. After the 50 Shades movies came out,
Yep.
BDSM became on the front page of all the porns. After Game of Thrones has been out, incest has been on the front page of all the porn sites, and now clowns.
And so clown porn is now about to skyrocket.
I think clown porn is going to start showing up in people's recommended videos, and you
yeah.
got to prepare
Oh,
for it.
gosh. That's truly. They have a great brand integration right there. If any of these studios want to get involved with these
Yeah.
niche genres, right
At the
here.
very least, you're going to see some people sitting on cakes or shoving balloon animals into holes.
So I'm literally shivering, terrifying right
Oh,
now, even
man.
thinking about this.
Let's cleanse the palate a little bit.
Oh,
This
I'm
is
all
a
about
fun time
cleansing the
story. Die Hard, Christmas movie classic,
greatest
is
Christmas
now
movie
going
ever.
to be released as a children's book. This story coming to us from IndieWire. Doogie Horner, a comedian, is
Hauser
written.
related to Hauser?
I don't know, Doogie. If you're listening, give us a ring. Are you
Let us
related to
know.
Doogie Howser? Let's find out. He is one of the authors and illustrated by J.J. Harrison, the authors of A Die Hard Christmas, the illustrated holiday classic. So this is being done in the lens of 'Twas the Night Before Christmas. It's going to be coming out on Amazon October 17th. And wow, this looks really, really nice. You got to look up, see some of these illustrations.
It looks like one of the best things I've ever seen. I mean, I always say it's not Christmas until Alan Rickman, a.k.a. Hans Gruber, falls off Nakatomi Tower. Because it is the best Christmas movie ever. People say it's A Wonder Life. People say it's Elf. Yeah, they have more Christmas things, but they don't have a yippee-ki-yay motherfucker line. And movies with rewatch value that kick ass. Like any art or subgenre or fan-related things, because this is fan art, right? This is
Yeah.
a fan art commemoration.
Yeah.
It looks awesome. This is like the movie that it's my all-time favorite movie. So I've seen it like 300 times, and it's why it looks so fucking cool and why it should be the coolest gift is just it's like a nice little children's book take on Die Hard. Why wouldn't you want that? In a time where kids are now obsessed with the Logan and Jake Pauls of the world and just how you can be pieces of shit at the end of the day and monetize off of that. This is a great reminder that narrative feature films exist. They're a lot of fun.
Yeah.
This guy is just an everyday guy, New York cop. How can this happen to a guy in the wrong place at the wrong time?
What
you
we
know?
need to have is the new Die Hard movie that comes out. We'll bring back Justin
Starring
Long as
Jake
John
and Logan
McClane's
Paul?
son. No. He's going to destroy Jake and Logan Paul.
like
Or
the-
at least Jake Paul. Logan Paul, I don't really give a shit about the guy, but Jake Paul is one of my neighbors who lives in
Oh
West
wait,
Hollywood
is he
with me.
causing like ruckus basically
Oh,
by your house?
dude.
Can you see that? Did you see that engulfed
The fire?
inferno that
No,
happened?
I saw the video of it. I did not see it from my house, but man, he is a knowing nitwit, and I think that John McClane needs to yippee-ki-yay those motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying?
I think he says it. I think all of us have talked to many people in their 20s and 30s. I reconsider my career options because of how much money he makes. And at the end of the day, you have to remember he has users that are activated from age 7 to 13. When you and I were 7 and 13, we were barely trying to get a VHS copy of American Pie so we could see Shannon and Elizabeth topless.
Oh, I definitely wasn't even close to
Yeah,
that.
you weren't
I
even
was
close
still
to that.
stuck. I was in a hard lockdown. I couldn't listen to anything besides Radio Disney. I was watching a lot of Nicktoons.
Were you kids bopping? Were
Oh,
you a kids bopper?
No, I was not even a Kids Bop kid. I was just Radio Disney all the way. The first album that I ever owned was Schoolhouse Rock. It was covers of Schoolhouse Rock songs by rock bands.
Like I'm just a Bill and I'm sitting here on Capitol Hill.
Yeah.
Amazing Jerry Light.
or 3 is a
Amazing.
magic number.
That's amazing.
Because 3 is a magic number.
3 is a magic number at the end of the day. Everyone buy this Die Hard book. It's I think going to be the best thing to put under whatever holiday you have. I consider it a holiday movie. Not
Put it
even a
under your
Christmas
Festivus
movie.
poll. It's gonna
Festivus
retail
poll.
hardcover for $10.22.
Y'all.
Why not? It's already the #1 bestseller in parody books on Amazon, so why not just add to it? Put some
And-
money in some people's
And
pockets.
it's not bad at all for a price. And the cover, just so you know, is him writing, "Now I have a machine gun, ho ho ho," on the guy in the elevator. Theo is his name, I think.
And now we have, speaking of money getting out of people's pockets, I think this is, besides it, this is the biggest story of the week.
I'm grinning and really smiling. 'cause I'm
Colin
excited.
Trevorrow out as Star Wars Episode 9 director. This is coming to us courtesy of Deadline Hollywood. Another Star Wars director change from Lucasfilm, which has announced that Colin Trevorrow has left Star Wars Episode 9. Trevorrow, whose blockbuster cred was set with the huge success of Jurassic Park franchise reboot Jurassic World, was
Sorry, that was me
confirmed
gagging.
in 2015. At the time, he said, "This is not a job or an assignment. It is a seat at a campfire surrounded by." Oh my God!
I like.
I don't even want to finish reading this sentence. His head is so far up his ass. The current film, whatever. He's trying to count creativity and hope. Anyway, he got fired from Jurassic World sequel. He is now fired from Star Wars Episode 9. He kind of fell into the same plot fall, it looks like, as Phil Lord and Chris Miller did
Mm-hmm.
with the Han Solo movie, where he got into a fight with the executive producer Kathleen Kennedy.
You don't fuck with Kathleen. She runs Hollywood. Shout out to Kathleen, homegirl. You have been like one of my career role models forever. So Kathleen Kennedy, if you're listening to this podcast, good work. Thank you, and one more time, thank you. Colin Trevorrow is the biggest hack in Hollywood. Safety Not Guaranteed was fine. It worked because of the cast. Jurassic World, we're all excited to see it. The first 20 minutes were great because it's all nostalgia and they play the music. You might tear up in your eyes. And then you're just like, this is the most nonsensical sleeping pill piece of shit that I have seen. And I've watched fucking 4-hour art house movies.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and this is, I've watched Lars von Trier's 5.5-hour Nymphomaniac, and I would rather watch that again than even take the time to watch Jurassic World.
I think, and here's the thing. Jurassic World obviously was a big blockbuster, but it did have its struggles, and a lot of fans are starting to now kind of turn on the movie. And then also, of course, we brought this up earlier, but the Book of Henry flopped hard and got a huge amount of backlash, and I don't think that helped him out either.
And the Book of Henry was just, look, a good movie is a good movie. I read this article about people are blaming Rotten Tomatoes for their movies not being successful. No, if you make a content that is a legitimate piece of shit, people will not pay. What is it, $15, $17.75 at ArcLight? Like, ridiculous prices. I have to reconsider paying extra for guac at Chipotle, and I have to fucking pay that price? No. So you're not going to see disposable nonsense when you could just see it on Netflix or HBO Go, or just, not watch it at all. And it's not a Rotten Tomatoes thing. It's maybe because we live in Los Angeles. It's a word of mouth thing. We always consult with each other. We use social media, I think, to give reviews about movies, and we're going to trust that one person.
Yeah.
It's one douchebag fact I could say about myself. Whenever I post a status about not liking a movie, I've had people reconsider seeing it. And people go, oh, shit, I'm going to see it. I didn't know that was good. John Wick is a great example.
You're a hashtag influencer, buddy.
I'm a hashtag influencer without the verified check mark, and I'm very happy about that at the end of the day. No, Trevorrow is good that he's out of Star Wars, because there is a just marketplace of opportunities to hire people of color or women of color directors.
I was going to ask, that was my next question. Who do you think should be hired as the next director for
Ava
the next Star
DuVernay
Wars?
or Ryan Coogler, because Ava DuVernay just is wrapping up a tentpole. She knows how to handle it, is doing A Wrinkle in Time. And then Ryan Coogler is wrapping up Black Panther, and Creed was phenomenal. Fruitvale Station, is one of my favorite movies of 2013.
Mm-hmm.
And even I would love to see, Patty Jenkins has Wonder Woman 2 coming up, but I think she would be great. I loved what she did with Wonder Woman. It was great. Hell, I will go as far as I want Catherine Bigelow. Remember, people forget Catherine
Bigelow would be a very fascinating
directed
director.
fucking
Point
Point
Break.
Break, and which Jim Cameron produced because they're married at the time. And dude, guys, rewatch Point Break. Those action sequences are so intimately shot, and we need a female in the Star Wars universe to carry one of these films out.
Especially because you have a female hero in Rey now.
Hero, right? And this is, I always say, it's like, I'm so happy people in general, kids have Rey to look up to now as a hero.
Mhm.
It's kind of the best thing in the world. With Episode 8, all film nerds are excited. Rian Johnson's directing. I can gladly. Everyone loves the modern day version of Chinatown, his 2005 indie film Brick.
Brick is
like
great.
who the fuck doesn't?
And I
love
think
Brick?
Rian Johnson is going to be making an excellent movie. But, and there's the thing, there's rumors swirling about him taking on the Episode 9
which
mantle.
I'm completely okay with.
I'd be cool with it, but I know it, and I think it would be great to keep the tradition alive of what they've been doing so far of giving a different director to each movie. And I think that out of those picks, I think you hit the nail on the head for the top two. And especially, I think Ava DuVernay has a really good shot at it because she already has the relationship with Disney thanks to A Wrinkle in Time.
100%. And she helped out a little bit with The Force Awakens as well.
Yep.
Mhm.
And she just won an Emmy for 13th.
Yes,
Coming off
she
another
did.
Oscar nomination for it.
And a phenomenal, phenomenal piece of content if you haven't seen it. I think also if Abrams came back to do it, I would be good with it. Did you not like The Force Awakens?
No,
or-
I did
you
like The Force
But you want
Awakens,
someone
but I
else to
wanted
have
to
an
do-
opportunity.
I just don't want as much lens flare this time around.
That's true. It was definitely his least lens flary movie, but I
But
did
there's
giggle.
still too much lens
Oh,
flare.
of course. It's
Every time
always too
there's the
much
lens flare, I was like, okay.
Trevorrow as a director now, I think in this modern age of Hollywood, when we have, like I said, cinema TV, and we have the Duffer Brothers doing the Stranger Things, and fucking even Fincher doing House of Cards, and Mindhunter, his new show, and we're transitioning to that. Trevorrow still shows that you can be a Hollywood. It doesn't matter if you have a relationship and a co-sign by
Mhm.
Senor Spielbergo, our number one at the end of the day. It's you can do whatever the hell you want. That's where his ego went when he gave him the opportunity for Jurassic World. Because when I saw Safety Not Guaranteed, I was like, oh, it feels like an early Spielberg movie. Very low budget. They're kind of doing it. They're talking about what they're going to do rather than doing it, but I'm fine with it. The adventure works. And I think that, oh my God, just Book of Henry, guy, like what the how did you that yes, you independently greenlit it, you made it, but the fact that at the end of the day you had these many great actors, Dean Norris, as we know, of course, as ASAP Schrader from Breaking Bad,
Yep.
was in it, and you're underusing him and you're making him this just ridiculous character. That movie turns into like fucking Taken, then American Sniper.
ASAP Schrader, my favorite
Yeah.
member of the ASAP
And
mob,
then,
next
and then,
to ASAP
sorry,
Ferg.
spoiler alert, it becomes like exactly. It becomes like a cancer movie for some reason out of nowhere with the precocious kid. And like, yeah, you can't do that to ASAP Schrader.
I don't think you should be allowed. By the way, I don't think we need to put a spoiler alert on movies that nobody was planning on seeing to begin with
Well,
anyway.
Yeah, and why would you release that shit in June out of all the times when I'm not saying Transformers 5 is a good movie, but you're releasing it during Transformers 5, which flopped. But
Yeah,
at the
what
same
happened
time,
to Transformers 5? That's not even in theaters anymore.
I remember
You know
when-
what is still in theaters?
What?
Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Man Tell No Tales at week 16.
And it's just, once again, another movie was fine, another disposable movie. I remember when we met in college, we talked about how much we really thoroughly enjoyed the first Transformers. How it's just a really fun movie.
It's a fun movie.
Michael Bay. and
Michael Bay
then-
being Michael Bay.
And it's like he's having a great time, and then I'm overwhelmed that it's gotten to 5 films with Mark Wahlberg now.
I'm surprised Michael Bay did not have a Transformer that became a fleshlight.
I'm telling you,
That's what Megatron should have been. Megatron used to be a gun in the original animated series. Make him a fleshlight in this new one.
maybe Colin Trevorrow was made to be on Transformers 6 right now. I'm curious. I don't think he's in movie jail because he has the
Colin Trevorrow?
Yeah, he is not in movie jail. He has the influence he wants. Once again, he has that.
Yeah, he's
Spiel-
not Josh Trank, that's for sure. Josh
Yeah.
Trank is for sure
Josh
in movie
Trank
jail.
is in movie jail, locked away there. He'll
But
get
Colin
out sometime.
Trevorrow will get released.
He's gonna get a new film in 2 months and be announced on some new franchise that no one else asked for. Dude, if he really wants to tell good stories again, Safe Not Guaranteed, not a bad movie. He should just go back to
Not
doing
a bad
indie
movie.
filmmaking. Like just do it, man. And also his position on just female filmmakers, he's just such a piece of garbage when it comes to that. He's like, oh, I didn't know female filmmakers want major big movies. They should just do smaller movies, tell stories. I was like, you are literally like, you're who my mom would punch in the face or I would be warned about on the playground. But very happy Trevorrow's out. I'm even more excited to see who Lucasfilm's going to pick. The whole Phil Lord, Chris Miller thing, I was obviously upset about that, but when I found out that they were trying to make Han Solo like Ace Ventura, I was like, okay, KK has to get in there and do her damn job.
Nah, I want to see. I want
You
to
wanted
see.
to
I
see
want to
that?
see a goofy Phil Lord, Chris Miller.
I mean, I
Han
love
Solo movie.
Oh yeah,
Made me very sad when they got fired
I
because I,
was
think
very
that
upset.
the character lends itself to it. Donald Glover as Lando Calrissian is going to be such a fantastic foil to what Han Solo's up to.
Mhm.
And I just wish that they had stuck around. But you know what? It is what it is.
It's a balance. We got Trevorrow off the project.
Yeah,
So
that- you
and
know-
I take the good with what I can.
6 of one, a half dozen of the other,
There
and
we
a half
go.
dozen of the other way better directors than Colin Trevorrow who are going to be on this movie from now on.
Amen.
All right. So let's get down into the meat of why you're here, Raj. Today,
I don't eat meat. I'm Hindu.
you have stepped into the studio at the Comedy Store basement.
Beautiful studio, by the way.
To besmirch the honor of what I think is the best movie of the year so far, Christopher Nolan's Dunkirk. Raj, why do you hate Dunkirk?
So hate is an overstatement. I just think it's okay. Well, I saw it not in 70 millimeter, not in IMAX. Saw it 3 weeks after the hype. So everyone had just told me how amazing and great it is. Let me start by saying you and I love Chris Nolan.
Yeah.
I'm a big Chris Nolan fan. Rewatched The Prestige recently. Fucking
Prestige
amazing.
is great.
And just
Christopher
rewatched-
Nolan has had almost, I can't say nothing but hits. I can say almost nothing but
all
hits
his-
because Interstellar is hot, beautiful garbage.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful garbage. It has my favorite score. It looks
Interstellar's like a
amazing.
dumpster behind a jewelry store.
Exactly. You watch it and it's pretty to look at and it sounds great, but you're like, Murph, this is my daughter. I'm gonna make a movie about my daughter for 3 hours. But my whole thing with him is he has a certain aesthetic and he's always experimenting. And his whole entire shade he throws on Netflix, going, that shouldn't be a way a movie's distributed. I was like, yes, the big screen experience is everything. But also, dude, you're Chris Nolan. You've earned the clout. So just shut the fuck up for a second and understand you can say that and do that. You know, I love you, Chris. Like fucking Dark Knight, still amazing. Insomnia is fantastic. Just rewatched Memento 2 weeks ago. Inception, I think, might be my like second favorite movie of his now because I rewatched it and he knows how to just. That movie should literally make no sense. You should not like or feel attached to any of those fucking characters. And by the end, you're like even attached to Cillian Murphy at the end when that's who they're incepting. And the best part is the layering, but when you're rewatching his movies is discovering more. Like I totally forgot Leo plans Inception in Marianne Cotillard's mind and says, no, maybe we should kill ourselves. And you're like, oh, fuck, I totally forgot that. Like,
Yeah.
he's twisting this, and you see this as a third act narrative reveal and why he has to take it down. You're like, this turned into an adventure. Still fucking love the ending. The
Great
ending,
movie.
The ending, even you're not supposed to go in depth in it. It's supposed to fuck with you. The whole point is, it's like The Sopranos. You're just supposed to be happy he's with his family. Like
Yeah.
Vin Diesel in The Fast and Furious. He's with family, family first. I don't got friends. I got family.
Who cares what happens at the
So
top?
thematically, it fucking works. Dark Knight Rises, a lot of fucking problems with it. So I think that his past 3 films have definitely just been heavily not his best. Obviously.
So let's go in specifics. Dunkirk, for those of you who have not seen it yet, go out there and see it. I think, and Raj and I are going to argue for the rest of the time of this episode about what we think about this movie. Dunkirk, great movie, written by Christopher Nolan, directed by Christopher Nolan, set at the Dunkirk evacuation in World War II, where British soldiers were evacuated from a French beach after being surrounded by German forces. So, lay into it, Raj.
So Jay, where were all of the brown people in this movie that look like me and look like some of my other friends? It's just
In
like,
India, where the rest of the British Empire was keeping them.
I think okay, the fact that they could have spotlighted people of color in this movie, they chose not to. I get the creative take that I know, yeah.
Oh
it's-
my God! Right from the fucking jump.
Of course, and that wasn't even my first main point. That's not even a problem with it. That was just something I like pointed out. I get it; they're highlighting different perspectives of what's going on, but you can't get one brother or one brown dude in there.
They didn't have. Do you want them to shoehorn in that into a time when that was not the way that the British Army was set up?
Hey man, it's that East India Tea Company. One
Yeah,
of them
they're
carrying
all
on.
in the East India still. The sun didn't set on the British Empire. The
I
sun
can-
was currently not setting on that part of the British Empire.
I very much understand that, but when the sun was setting, it was also very boring. I would even like to go into why this movie was maybe the most boring movie I've seen of
I mean,
2017.
you're wrong, but go into it.
No, and it's it's okay. It's okay to be right and just admit defeat. But
What
what,
do you
it
think?
is listen, like you're doing the whole Kubrick thing. I get it. You're being experimental, and once again, I think it's so fucking awesome that that Nolan has Final Cut with Warner's, that he can make art housey shit like this. The sound design was fucking phenomenal. Like it blew my mind even with my theater, and I had my jaw agape the whole fucking movie. This movie is also shorter than the 2006 chick flick Bratz with a Z. I just found this out. Shout out to our friends at the How Did This Get Made podcast.
Wait. I'm gonna look
So
up
Dunkirk,
what
I
the
believe,
running
is
time of Bratz is.
106 minutes long, and I believe Bratz is around 116 minutes.
Oh my God!
But anyways,
Bratz, 2007 live action teen comedy
Yeah.
film, directed by who the fuck cares? Running time. Oh, it's just shy 102 minutes.
there we go. I think that
Just so close.
I think that the movie, at the end of it, like you have the design, you have the aesthetic, but I always said everything is down to care. I didn't care about them, and I get it. Like with the boat and everything, and scumbag Cillian Murphy, which actually I really did like the boat shit. That was I think that was my favorite shit in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like it got so infuriating. Not that we were like in war. Like I get it. They were trying to be candid. Harry Styles, by the way, magnificent. I think one of the prime highlights of the movie.
Oh, far and away.
Fucking amazing. Like blew me away. That gives my marginal recommendation for it. I think that I wanted more of an epic and less of an intimate. I think I wanted a 3-hour runtime, wanted to go in for this adventure and journey rather than these candid kind of cuts of doing like a
You wanted a
super
traditional war
Yeah,
movie.
I did
You went into it wanting his version of Saving Private Ryan.
kind of like I wanted the unique take. Like the guy, poor guy, hope he pooped, you know? It starts off with the guy just really looking for a place to poop and he just can't. And I'm like, shit, I hope this guy
Talk about needing comedy in the movies.
Right?
That
Like-
got a big laugh from me.
And that was ballsy. I really liked. I loved the opening scene, and I loved that they opened it with, "Holy shit!" Like he's getting shot at, he's running away. I thought the Steadicam usage was beautiful there, but then you're like, "Oh, the guy has to take a shit." Like,
Let me ask you this, because as soon as you said this, I latched onto it. You
Mhm.
said this was one of the most boring movies that you've seen this year.
this year, not of all time.
But how can you say that this movie is boring? What is your justification for why a movie that features people with the soundtrack, with the sound design, and with the actual action of the movie, as far as the three overlapping narratives, the way that they are structured to showcase the heightened tension of what's going on? How can you call this boring?
I think so I think the Hans score was just classic Hans doing the like the fucking violins just going louder and louder and louder in your ear. And, seeing fucking Tom Hardy with the mask on and, oh, he's shooting this down and shit. I think that if I like omitted the music, it's just I was like passing out 3 times. I saw this at like 5 p.m. like at a regular time.
How can you fall asleep during this
I
movie?
didn't fall asleep. I was
How can you call this movie boring?
I was dazing off the whole time. My whole perspective on it is because I think the story is what's extraordinary about it, is because it's a true story. And you're like, holy shit, this all happened. This is insane. This is nuts. I should be so on the edge of my seat right now. I was on the edge of my seat because of the fucking music and I just not the characters. I think I was just because I saw Inception and I was comparing it more as a Nolan as a filmmaker who is so good at taking different creative choices. Even with the garbage fire that is The Dark Knight Rises, that airplane opening scene is fucking awesome.
Dark Knight Rises is also not a garbage fire, by the way. Dark Knight Rises is a solid entry, not a great movie.
Not a great movie. It has good
A
moments.
good
I will give you that much.
movie.
It
Definitely
is.
better than, I would say, probably 80% of the superhero movies that are out now.
I will say Dunkirk is better than Dark Knight Rises. Dunkirk is better than Interstellar. I will say that.
I say right now, Dunkirk is the best Christopher Nolan movie.
Oh God damn it!
For me, the top three
this
are
is
going to
the
go.
hottest take.
It goes Dunkirk, Dark Knight Rises, Inception for me.
Oh my God!
'Cause
What kind of? Oh God! This is it's a good thing I'm on here.
I know. I told you,
Well,
man.
this is,
We're gonna fight.
This
so
is the hottest take of. Oh God!
I don't understand
Yes.
how you can think. First of all,
Yes.
you can go into a movie that you're expecting to be like a 3-hour war epic, and be mad that the movie is lean and mean, and you're in and out of there in just about 90 minutes.
I think I was looking for some breathing room too in between. Not even traditionally, because I love Atonement. Atonement's not even a war epic, but it has that fucking incredible tracking shot. I think I was expecting moments just to be. Well, I want to give it another chance.
You should give it
Let
another
me say it. I
chance.
do want to give it another chance.
Because I think you are so. I think you
It-
can't. That's the problem that I'm hearing
Yeah,
from
yeah.
you is that you came into the movie with a lot of expectations that were not met. But you are mad that the expectation. You were mad at that Christopher Nolan delivered a really great and different war movie, and now it seems like you're not giving him the credit that he deserves. Frankly,
I liked that it was different. I can't get over I keep defending it. Guys, it's boring.
This
Tell me
is-
it's not
It's
fucking
not
boring.
boring,
Like,
dude. You just said you were on the edge of your seat,
I was on the edge of my seat because of the music. not
right? Because of
what
one of
they're
the
saying.
major elements of the movie.
Yes, of course. And
the
the
whole
score was
movie,
fantastic.
The movie is not about the writing. This is not a movie where it was written to have good, snappy dialogue, where it's supposed to have pithy things being said.
Well, most of his movies
This is
don't have good dialogue.
highlighting. This movie is an exercise in fucking tension. Did you saw Gravity?
Yeah, love
Gravity is a movie where the whole deal, the score, the whole experience of the movie is designed to make you feel tense and uncomfortable. That's what this movie was for me.
Mhm.
I saw this movie in theaters and I
You seen it in
was
70?
floored. Yeah, I saw it in 70 millimeter at the ArcLight and I was floored. I was blown away. I saw it at midnight. And I have a problem these days where if I do not like a movie, I will fall asleep during that movie. I fell asleep during Logan. Hot take. I fell asleep.
Ooh, that's a very
I didn't
hot
even
take.
fall asleep during the Fast and the Fate of the Furious. I fell
'Cause-
asleep during
it's 'cause
Guardians of the
it's the best
Galaxy
movie
Volume
ever
2.
made.
Another hot take.
Not a good movie.
Logan
We agree
also
on that.
Logan also not a good movie.
Ooh,
We'll get into that another
and another
episode.
time.
But Dunkirk is a movie that from the jump I was hooked. I was real, and I was just getting reeled in more and more over the course of the movie.
Definitely.
One thing that I'm very glad that you brought up is that actually rather that you haven't brought up is the characterization of this movie.
Mhm.
So, and you kind of touched on it a little bit, and you said that there's not really a whole lot of people to care about, but. And the criticism that I've heard the most about
Yeah.
Dunkirk from other people is, oh, there's no hero. There's no hero to
Mhm.
the movie. There's nobody you can care about. First of all, very wrong. I'm going to spoil something because it doesn't really matter. Studies show that spoilers actually enhance your experience, so you're welcome. When George dies on the boat, oh my God. It got me.
No, it gets you, and
I got welled up, buddy.
that was I think a great scene with the kid of all this other shit going on that oh fuck this is crazy like this shell shocked scumbag scarecrow just fucking killed this kid
Yeah.
but him not telling him because he says oh is he going to be okay and then Harry Styles is the messenger obviously that was kind of okay that was the elements where I was like oh shit yeah they are saving people they are fucking people's
Right.
lives are in danger
They are in the shit
they
in
just
this
had
movie.
a sacrifice and it's like they're dressed so properly costume design I thought was fantastic in the movie too
I think every element of this movie really, really works to
Mhm.
help enhance the effect that I think Christopher Nolan was going for, which is to make you feel tense.
Mhm.
The lack of breathing room that you criticize, I
Yes.
think, is one of the highlights of this movie
Really?
because it never feels like you have a room. You never feel like you have room to breathe in this movie until the very, very end of the movie when when everybody's evacuated, and that I think is obviously by design because otherwise if you feel less tense than the characters in this movie, then you have not really fully experienced what Dunkirk is about.
Mhm.
I think. I think that the movie works at its best when you have no idea what is going to happen. When you have no idea really what's going to happen next. Obviously everything works out because we know how World War II ended. Spoiler alert! Sorry, guys, we won World War II.
You're
Except,
spoiling everything away, man.
but we know what happens at the end, but we don't know what goes on in the middle. And the whole point of the movie, I think, was it made you feel like you also had no idea what was going to happen in the middle of that part either. You had no idea who was going to survive. You had no idea who was going to make it out. You had no idea what was going to happen in the planes. You had no idea what was going to happen in the boats. And you had no idea what was going to happen to Kenneth fucking Branagh on the
I want to be
the
Kenneth.
dock.
I want to be Kenneth Branagh one day when I could just get paid millions just to stare into deep distances.
And that's the other thing. Even though everybody got evacuated, guess what? Tom Hardy's still captured by the Germans, who you never. I love this part of the movie.
That
too.
was a great-
The fact
that
that
was a
you
great scene,
never actually saw the enemy.
Mhm.
The enemy was just this sort of looming force.
Mhm.
Beautiful.
That worked. I feel like that was actually one of the three strongest parts about the movie. Where you didn't see the enemy. See, that was a creative risk that I was on board with.
Mm-hmm.
I think I just needed more. Not even once again. I didn't think I was gonna go and seeing like an experimental movie. I think it was my expectations set a certain way, and I know Nolan can just. And I just rewatched all his old shit, and you can't compare old and new because you got to progress and blah blah blah.
Right,
That's what
right.
art is. But
Well, and here's the thing I think that is a hallmark of Christopher Nolan's
Mhm.
career. Christopher Nolan takes genre movies that could seem played out or tired and elevates them into something else through his own direction.
Mhm.
Dark Knight should have been just a regular old superhero movie. Batman Begins is a pretty lock, stock, and barrel regular superhero origin story movie, but The Dark Knight became a crime drama.
and it's Heat. It's basically just Heat set in the Batman universe and
Yeah.
shot in Chicago. So
Yeah.
that's one of the best plays about the Dark Knight is because he took the genre, folded it. Inception's basically just kind of almost the Matrix when you think
Yeah.
about it, alternative universes, but he makes it feel so like it's set in 2010 and you feel like you're in 2010
Yeah.
the whole entire time. They make it seem like oh, this is something completely normal and not science fictiony.
Yeah.
You don't think
It
you're
doesn't
you don't think
seem
you're in a
science
sci-fi
fiction-y.
movie
No,
at all
not at
watching
all.
it. Even with the anti-gravity shit, somehow you are so on board with the universe that they're presenting you.
Yep.
And with Dunkirk, obviously, it's all real. It's all things. So they
Even
have-
Memento. Memento takes a
Mementos.
classic revenge thriller,
Mhm.
chops it
Just
up,
chops it
puts
up.
it all out of order,
Mhm.
and does some amazing work with that movie.
Mhm.
So
So he flipped the war
flips,
genre.
He flips the script, and this is his flip of the war genre.
I think you are making some convincing points. I'm definitely going to see it again. It is. I will so strongly stand on my take that it is boring at a lot of times. I wouldn't see myself rewatching
You're
this
so
movie
wrong.
on television and being like, oh, this is something I'm gonna pop on. When I could do that with
Oh,
Dark Knight, when
I
even
agree.
even Interstellar, I could like watch 20 minutes of that, like that whole end scene where they do the organ, the like it's beautiful. I could totally watch that over and over. It's a movie that's I don't think is gonna have shelf value. It will get awards recognition for sure.
I think this
think
is
so.
probably Christopher Nolan's biggest awards play since Dark Knight.
Since Dark Knight, yeah.
Easily.
Which,
This is probably going to be. I'm going to make some bold calls right
Oh,
here. I
please.
think it's going to get nominated for Best Picture,
Yep,
Best
I think
Director,
so.
Best Original Score, the sound design and sound mixing categories,
It'll
costume
win-
design.
it'll win all
It'll
the
win a whole
sound.
bunch of technical
Mhm.
awards, but you know, on the flip side of it, it's you are right. It is a movie that does not have, I think, a whole lot of rewatch value
Yeah.
because it does play so well on the big screen. And there's a reason why directors, if they make their movie in 70 millimeter, they want you to see their movie in 70 millimeter. I saw The Master, Paul
Oh,
Thomas
yeah.
Anderson's beautiful,
I-
beautiful masterpiece.
Amazing, yeah.
Saw that in 70 millimeter. Haven't wanted to see it since. But goddamn, did that movie affect me on a deep level?
It stays with you. Same with Inherent Vice, a movie I loved but recommended to no one. If that makes sense.
That's the thing. But Dunkirk, seeing Dunkirk, I saw it in 70 millimeter, and I think that probably helped enhance my
Of
experience.
course, yeah.
But Dunkirk is one of those kind of movies that left an indelible impression on me. I think for my money right now, it is the best movie of 2017. It's just
have
it
you
edges
seen
out
a lot of movies?
I
in
have.
2017?
I've seen here. You want to hear my top 10 right now?
I
I'll give you
would.
my top 5 at
I
least.
would love it.
Top 5 right now. 5 is Baby Driver. 4
Okay.
is Good Time. 3 is It Comes at Night. 2 is Get Out. 1 is Dunkirk.
Okay. Interesting list.
I've seen a good chunk of movies this year, buddy.
It is okay.
And I think that Dunkirk takes the the cake. You know, it's definitely
I'm not gonna lie. This is the hottest take I'm gonna take ever. So a movie that came out the same day as Dunkirk, because I was playing catch up with movies because I was traveling.
oh yeah.
My brother and I saw it, and I'm not gonna lie. I enjoyed the viewing experience more than Dunkirk was Valerian in the City of a Thousand Planets. This is probably the most Rob Schneider take
Raj
you will
is
ever
one
have.
of the
on
one of the
this.
10 people who saw Valerian in the City of a Thousand Planets.
It is so much fun. It is like a video game. It is like a discount Fifth Element, and you literally only have fun with the awkward actors in it, and it's just this visual fucking opus. And dude, it is a great, not good movie.
Are you
I maybe my taste
going
has
to
just
really
deteriorated.
sit here and try and tell me that you thought that Valerian in the City of a Thousand
As-
Planets was a more enjoyable movie to watch than Dunkirk?
As a out of home entertainment experience in the theater with lights off with people focusing on it, I got to really embrace and love Dunkirk. I'm not even trolling. I'm not trying to be the Armin White of your podcast. I think
I would rather have an Armand White on my podcast. I like when you're wrong.
I listen. Done. I need to. I think that's it. I think being so tedious about shit, I need to watch it on IMAX or I need to watch it in 70 when it's re-released. So I do agree with you on that. I will still agree that I will still stick to my take that it's boring. Not a bad movie. Boring.
Well, let's cycle back to one other thing before we wrap up
Oh, yes.
your egregiously cooled down hot
I-
take.
I
I feel
s-
like I've dumped I pulled
dumped-
the ice bucket
You
challenge
pulled
on your
the
hot
ice
take.
bucket challenge, and I feel like I was very old man yells at cloud, Clint Eastwood talking to a chair coming into this.
Yeah.
And then when we discussed things, and I was reading about it, and I was thinking more and more about the movie, and things work in it for sure.
Yeah.
I still have my very much issues with it, and even with my issues with it, I still marginally recommended it.
So
yes,
let's go back to the thing that you brought up at the very beginning of your
Yes.
critique, which is not using actors of color in this movie.
yes,
And this is another critique that I've seen on Twitter. People are mad that female characters did
Mhm.
not feature really heavily into this movie. So it makes me so exhausted to think about this. Let's harken back to ye olden days of World War II.
let's harken.
Okay, let's take a look here. The British Army,
Yes.
very different than the American Army. The American Army at the time was definitely using soldiers of color
Mm-hmm.
because the American people at that time were in the throes of the old Great American Melting Pot. Another great Schoolhouse Rock song, The American Melting Pot.
Sounds like a great mixtape title as well.
It wouldn't be a great mixtape title. But so the whole reason that the people are, one of the big reasons people are upset about Dunkirk is that they think it's not historically accurate to not have, on the British side, soldiers who are female and soldiers of color. Let's take a look at that, though. First of all, they showed an accurate representation of what the female characters in the movie were like based on what females in the services were like back then, which is nurses. There are nurses on the boats who are helping the people out, who are giving them tea and crumpets.
I've
and
seen Michael
biscuits.
Bay's. I've seen Michael Bay's Pearl Harbor, which I enjoyed more than this. But continue.
Yeah, but Michael Bay's Pearl Harbor. Oh my God. Do not ever compare a Michael Bay movie to a Christopher Nolan movie in my presence ever again, Brad. I think that the people who are decrying that there were no characters of color in this movie are mad at history for being history.
Yes, that is a take.
That's a
definitely a
take
take.
I'm going to stand by.
But there had to be one or two Indian soldiers in there that like there's no way that they couldn't. I don't know. Maybe I'm.
Would
just,
you rather have them been in there and get shot?
No, but like say even just like dude, seeing yourself on screen is just important, I think. And Nolan now has the power to take down gatekeepers, and it's like you go through history and stuff. Of course, it was obviously not a majority, and most of these soldiers were white. But like, come on. Yeah, I think that as a major tentpole filmmaker, especially with a tour vision and scope like this. You could throw some of us in there.
Yeah, I mean, look,
like I'd be guy number 3 with a bayonet,
And let's cover this thing real quick because I did just pull this off of the Wikipedia page. Thank you, Wikipedia
It's
page.
the most reliable source on the internet.
What's missing from a film? This is a Slate article. There were at Dunkirk. This is missing from the film. So my take is also getting cool water poured upon it as well.
There you go.
Soldiers from West and North Africa were key to delaying the German attack. In the film, we do see at least one French soldier who might be African, soldiers
There
from
you go.
Morocco, Algeria, Tunisia, and elsewhere. Other African soldiers made it to England and helped form the nucleus of the Free French Forces. There were also 4 companies of the Royal Indian Army Service Corps on those beaches. Observers said they were particularly cool under file and well organized during their retreat. Blah, blah, blah. So now I'm the angry white guy yelling at a cloud.
I know, man. It's we switched roles at the end of the day. No,
The hero really becomes a villain.
I think, and okay, I will say yes, the internet had an influence on this for me because I didn't think about this until I was on the Twitters and the internet, and then I was going, wait a second, yeah, I just think I just did this whole thing for Netflix on identity and stuff.
You
and
did,
and yeah, right, so I think I'm just very, very, very passionate about this topic. So
I get it.
I get it.
Hey,
No.
we both want Ava DuVernay to get
Exactly.
the directing job.
Exactly. And we can come together in that. But also,
But
I think this
Christopher
bothers-
Nolan's a white guy. He can make a movie featuring a bunch of white people if he wants to.
It's just that's the thing is because he has such a power as a British white man in this major tentpole system where we're all fucking trying to knock down gatekeepers. He could give one brown dude up. Go Aziz, man. Just go. Aziz should just do the next Chris Nolan movie, and Nolan should write it. I'm just saying. Not even if it adds to the narrative, dude. Just come on, give us something. He had an Indian guy. He had the doctor in Inception, Dr. Max Patel.
Yeah.
I think is his name.
Yeah,
he's
yeah,
great.
yeah.
Yeah, he's a great
And
actor.
Ken Watanabe is in there.
Ken Watanabe's in it. Yeah, it's not that he's not giving opportunity. I see it, and his defense is probably it's because this is who was right for the role, and I get that. But
Yeah.
at the same time, it's like he's not doing an Aladdin thing where they're just writing in a white character for no reason. So I get it, and that's
Yeah.
what he
See,
might
that's
think,
the best
but
part.
That's what he might think, and then it's like, we're writing in an Indian character for no reason. So, but then it's like the people that will yell about that and ridicule Nolan's movie are people that are not very good people on the internet. But that's neither that nor there. I think this movie is watchable. I think it should be seen on a big screen.
You got to go watch it again.
I will give it another try when hopefully they're doing a IMAX re-release for your consideration
Oh,
and
yeah,
shit.
I'm
So
sure
we'll
they
probably
will.
sneak into one of those. But at the same time, please let me know if you think it's boring because I don't want to be alone on this.
And how can you let Raj know that it's boring? What are some social media ways that people can get at you, Raj?
You can follow me on the socials. I am ASAP Raji on Twitter and Instagram. That's ASAPRAJY. I'm part of the ASAP mob in my mind.
Mm-hmm.
I just
Along with ASAP Schrader.
ASAP Schrader. You know what I'm saying? I just had to change my social handles from my full name just so I could have this,
You can have these hot
identity.
takes.
Hot takes and identities going on. But
And the Netflix campaign that you're in.
yes,
You can search that as well.
You can search that with the hashtag. The first time I saw me, Netflix has been doing a great job talking about representation in the media with phenomenal shows such as Master of None, Orange is the New Black, and dear white people, and just seeing yourself for the first time on screen and how they are bending barriers and giving opportunities to wonderful creators out there knocking down the gates. You don't need those gates or pilot season anymore. Just get a show greenlit and you're on screen. That's my dream, at least. But yeah, no, check it out. It's great. Thank you. Shout out to Netflix too for having me a part of that. It was very great.
Yeah, you can follow me on the social media at Diet J on Twitter and Instagram, JLight Comedy on Facebook, and jlightcomedy.com for show dates. This week, if you want to come check me out, I will be at the Queen Mary and at Anchor Bar tomorrow night. I will be at Comedy at Solar de Cahuenga on Tuesday. Laughing While High and Spike the Punchline on Wednesday. I will not be high. The show is just called Laughing While High because it happens at a dispensary. And then I'll be in Palm Springs opening for my buddy Billy Bunnell this Saturday. And and by the way, shout out, we have a new our new man in the sound booth, our new engineer, Max Goldman, everybody.
Thank you, Max. You are a legend. You are as legendary as they get.
Oh, no problem, man.
Thanks for being
Thanks,
here.
bruv.
Please rate. We are now in iTunes,
us.
Google Play, Stitcher. Rate the podcast. Leave a review. They help us out. We would love to try and get the word out about the podcast more. And this podcast, of course, is Blockbusting. Thank you for tuning in. Go see something good for a change.
Go see a good thing. Ooh, and can I do a music plug?
Yeah, go for it.
So 3 phenomenal albums just came out this month from LCD Sound System, The National, and the electronic duo that is breaking the mainstream and the barriers known as Odessa, which I saw in a garage in 2012. All 3 albums are fantastic on Spotify, Apple Music, where you listen to it. Especially LCD Sound System might be album of the year. Please check out their music.
You fucking lovable nerd.
You pretentious douchebag. Love you.
Love you.
That's us.
Bye.
Thanks, dude.